past. It threatens the fastest weapon. You wouldn't make it past a second, and that's the question. Play it brash and reckless, or choose a cautious solution you thought was prudent. In any sepulcher, pulchritude will become the putrid. It's that wealth that I'm pursuing. No mountain too steep or dungeon too deep to send expended remarks up to the top of the peak or beneath. They see you bleed, they come like sharks to it, while I swim in that money bin like Carl Barks drew it. So send your national parks druid, I'll send him home in a natural box with a closed top and most of the parts included. Save your breath for a cleric confessor. Death is a lesson and life is a tenured professor. But if you're seeking my official advice, sign on the dotted line and initial it twice.
Hello, I'm Tycho Brahe of Penny Arcade and PAX. I'm also a Menifis Hereward Drawn, CEO of Acquisitions Incorporated. But today, I'm here to play a completely different game, but with the same friends. The friends that we're going to introduce you to in mere moments. Let's start, as we always have traditionally, with to my right, Douglas, the Blitzen. Can you tell us a little bit more about this young man and how much precisely we should calibrate our hatred engine? Oh boy. People, it happened fast. It happened real fast.
Nerds. Just over here doing sports, sporting around. If I had anything lacrosse related, this is a lacrosse ball, right?
You're just a very small boy.
Yeah, exactly. He's not to scale.
Quick stats: 13. I'm 2'7". Never learned how to read.
Thank you.
So my understanding, and we're situated here firmly. This is a tale, for lack of a better term, from the Loop. The Loop is a strange. I mean, obviously, it's scientific in nature. It's not mystical, but it does enable some pretty high, science fiction concepts. Power is essentially free. There are forces and technologies that it exerts. If you can afford it, there might be a car that doesn't have a tire. If you hate tires, this is the era for you. My understanding, Mr. Blitzen, is that your family was right there basically at the ground floor of this. And so you have seen your family's fortunes increase substantially since the introduction of the Loop. Is that correct?
Yes. My family, Douglas's family. Damn it, I did it first.
Restart.
Douglas.
Delete.
Delete. Yeah. Post. Yes, they were at the ground floor, early angel investors on Loop Technology. So I am a rich kid jock. God.
But it's new money.
Oh, yeah. The newest money.
Yeah. New money in the town that we are situating our tale in, Spokane. I have experience with this cadre. Yeah. And it's unique.
We don't get along with all the old Spokane money, all that generational wealth in Spokane.
You
looks down on us.
Douglas, you would be shocked to learn. You would be shocked to learn how fine these distinctions are there. Next up, to the right of my right, the heir to a powerful women's tradition. Would I be correct in saying that this is Danny K. Grass, who goes by the Walnut Derby name? Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. That is she.
All right,
so now the K is silent, so it's just Danny Grass.
Oh, so it's just Danny Grass. Just wherever K's manifest.
I've been sitting on that joke for a week. Thank you.
No, exactly. No, it worked. It worked. But that is the powerful tradition that she is the inheritor of. I mean, what does it mean to her? I mean, is that where she spends her time?
At the orchard?
We have the orchard. Obviously, you chose the inspired archetype, Hick. I was thinking that it was going to be a Brugirl type thing.
A hick can be a bra girl. Listen, from the Northeast, we call ourselves swamp Yankees, and it's the same.
Specifically, in my mind, I think I had like a specific fight, but hick is so like I like the idea that a hick in the modern world is like a druid in this other context.
100%. But you were talking about derby.
Yes, I'm talking specifically about the other tradition. Yes.
Yeah, well, she aspires to, make the team. But instead, she just goes to practice a lot and really looks up to the other girls. They're all very cool. Part of
Wait, she hasn't made the team?
Listen, she is working very hard, okay? And she's working on her fundamentals.
But everybody
she puts a lot of heart in.
Everybody calls her Walnut. Like we all know that she's a force to be reckoned with, right?
But but Rosie, if you haven't attended, you can't verify any of these things, right?
Oh, that's true.
If she's just like, my derby name's Walnut, and it's like, how the fuck are you gonna know?
Take her at her word.
I can tell you that she surely hopes that her derby name will be Walnut, and she picked it out long before she bought the skates and looked at the registry. Saw that no one else had it.
International. It's international now. So next up, to my left, traditionally speaking, to my left, it's the teen queen of crime, Rosie B. Stinger. Now, can you please give us a brief introduction to your sophisticated network, Miss Stinger?
Well, I don't know how brief this introduction is going to be. There's a lot to tell you, but
oh no.
I'm 12 and I run this school. Everybody knows it. I am bossy. I am small. I know everybody's secrets. I've got my little mean book of everybody's juicy secrets, and it's my most prized possession. And I know everything about everyone, including you and you and you, and most especially you.
I am having flashbacks to actual middle school.
This is pain.
And you're the person that made life hell. My God.
I love to make life hell for everyone.
Dude, okay, so we'll get back to Rosie in a second. Kate, you seem very pleased.
I am so excited to play this character.
Oh man, listen. So let's get through these intros so that we can really kick this thing into next gear. So to the left of my left, emerging as though from a dark trench coat. What name did you end up going with?
I'm Chris Straub, and let me just make a little amendment. It's not because Kate helped me a lot with my character sheet. It's a members only jacket.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's a warmer month, so he trades it out.
No, he does not. Much as I actually did not do in junior high, I wore my members only jacket like a security blanket. In any weather, I did wear it.
Indeed.
Now, fear.
So, Mr. Straub, interests.
Don't hit.
No hit in this area.
No. I'm lately trying to figure out how to put what I've learned of the loop technologies to rest with my firm Catholic Christian beliefs, and they seem to be at odds.
Tell me more, Mr. Straub.
Well, I know that my mom kind of has the run of the house since Dad died, and she's pretty orthodox, but I'm still very curious about. It's hard to look at everything as a gift from God. I would never see it for my mom, but like we built some of this, and I guess I kind of just want to see how everything kind of breaks down.
Yeah. Now, isn't it also true that your father worked on the loop itself, and that there are still some impenetrable mysteries about his death that they're not able to be discussed at home?
Well, I think that he has a plan for everyone, and my dad isn't really allowed to talk about his work, but I mean, accidents are common in a workplace like that. So, God willing, there'll be some solutions.
Oh man, Tristan, I feel
too
it.
Good. It's too good.
Nah. Oh.
We have to consider. We have to consider that we might have been playing the wrong game.
It's already occurred to me, Jerry.
Do over. Do over.
Let's start it
starts
over
now.
Reset.
Let's start it over. Exactly right. So, as I've discussed, I'll help the audience travel along with us through some of the distinct mechanisms that we're going to be going into. It's a very, very legible system, I think, for our friends at home. But one of the really cool rituals that I love about this game is that it starts with the classic montage and it ends with a montage. And the other thing that I like, which is actually dovetailed with that, is that, I know the story, I know like the world state, but that doesn't give me, I don't have the power over you that a regular dungeon master would have. It's my intent and it's the game's intention that we build as much of this together as we can. There's a lot of reasons I like that, but also that feels like this feels like the correct moment for that sort of game also. So what I am asking you for is to work with me to help me intro this game with moments, just slices from your own life that I will then throw in my piece with. There can be checks. There can be dice in these contexts if it provides interest and texture. And it's also a fun opportunity, like a training wheel section to sort of learn some of the onboarding stuff. But we have reached the intro phase, and all I would like to know is who would like to go first.
Rosie.
I could definitely go first.
Well, I saw this. Do you see the just like this lethal curl of the spine?
Yes.
He's like a reticulated python.
I would.
Miss Stinger, if you would please share with the class.
I would.
Set the mood, baby.
Is it okay to involve other players in my interesting?
Yeah, like as I was saying before we started, you can throw people in. Other people can also be like, "Hey, can I get in on that as well?" Doesn't have to be. And you can also say, "Hey, this is like a private scene. Like I actually need to have this scene with myself, or with a parent, or something like that."
Okay.
But no, cool. You are. There aren't any limitations on what you can do.
All right. I have in mind Chris and Douglas, but Walnut, please feel free to charge into the scene if you feel like there's an entry for it. Because I can't figure out a way to put you in a library. That's the only reason.
Oh, don't worry.
That might come up again later.
Don't worry.
Cool. All right. So I walk into the library and I have Douglas with me. I've got an armload of thick books, most of which look like they're probably notebooks, like things that I have written in, not actually textbooks. And Douglas, you and I have a relationship where I pay you $1 a day to act as my muscle, my hired muscle, whenever it comes time for me to confront someone about some shady crap that they're up to. So you and I go charging into the library and I slam my pile of notebooks down on the table where Chris is studying. And I lean in with all of my, I really am very small. I'm like, I don't know, less than 4 feet tall.
Standing.
Yeah. we're at eye level.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm chewing this bubble gum really obnoxiously. I'm like, so I heard a rumor that you were going to tell me to Principal Grant.
But why? No, why? Why would, I was not going to do, I don't know anything.
Are you
stay away from all of this?
I turn to Douglas and I laugh. And then I turn back to Chris and I'm like, are you saying that my sources are lying to me? because I promise you they're not. And listen to me very closely, Chris Straub. And I tap on a notebook. I'm like, I know everything there is to know about you. And if I hear one word of you going to the principal and telling her about my little side business, which isn't hurting anyone, then your secrets are going to end up on the front page of the school newspaper. Do you understand me?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Miss Stinger, because you are nasty. And I turn, wheel on my heel, and I snap my fingers for Douglas and march out of the library.
Now, so yeah, exactly. All of it there. Now, in the spirit, just to establish what can happen after that, as the storyteller entity, I can add into this scene the next part. The Chris Straub portion of this. It's like I trained myself not to say the name, and now I have to say the name. So the Chris Straub portion, that was just walking in. Like that was just a little piece there. You are actually here in the library on additional business. Now, Douglas Blitzen has his uses, but that's hard power. And your empire requires an equivalent soft power side. Most of these things you can manage, but there is a new girl this year in school. And she is, and this is one of the most terrifying things in your line of work, Miss Stinger. And that is a page in the notebook with a name at the top and an entirely blank page below.
What is the name?
Brittany Ramone.
Oh my God, that's the most terrifying name you could have come up with. Okay.
Right now it says Brittany Ramone at the top, and it sets your teeth. You can feel a vibration in your gums because you know that this is the sort of thing that throws plans into disarray. This is a new girl. Is this the seed crystal of some new organization? Is this someone that needs to be brought to heel?
Can she
we don't know.
As an ally?
Indeed. And that is why you have set up this meeting with her. Now, abusing Chris Straub, that's purely an amusement. It's nice it's like watering a plant. It's important to maintain.
I was going to say it's like a neurotransmitter. It's like there's only one thing that can be done to this object. It's really interacting with me as abusing me. So
it's true. And so and so she is seated farther in. She is seated in a place that would allow her to see you enter the room. And she has observed the entire interaction that you have just described.
I don't like that. If she's seated so that she can see the entrance, she's cleverer than I thought.
No, she has a bright pink backpack. She has a angular yellow jacket. She has 2 hot pink triangle earrings. She has a scrunchie that is the same yellow as the jacket.
The exact same shade?
How? I
hate it. Okay, here's the real question. Is she pretty?
You know she is.
You know she is. You know she is. Just listen to that outfit.
Here is what I'll tell you. She has made tactical, strategic effort to be a very particular kind of pretty for this meeting.
Oh, okay. So is this a meeting that we have scheduled? Or
you have scheduled this with her, and she has prepared herself for it.
Okay. Now, as I approach this table, like reaching up to all of my almost 4 feet in height and chewing my bubble gum, this is one of my tells that Douglas might know. When I chew my bubble gum really, really loud, I'm nervous.
Okay, interesting.
And as I look around the library, do I see Walnut anywhere?
You don't see Walnut anywhere. Now,
okay.
That doesn't mean that she isn't there. Let me have a very brief conversation with Walnut. Walnut, are you there and not visible?
I want you to know, Walnut is cowering between the book stacks with a very particular stack of, she has 3 books in her hands. And she is doing the mental calculations of how to check these books out or how to ditch them without anyone seeing that she's ditched them.
Oh.
And all of that kind of goes out the window, it turns out, when she peers out and sees Brittany. She has been a nuke from orbit by this person, and now she is just frozen in the book stacks.
Right. And so just like there, like maybe it's a situation where there is like a little crack in the natural order of the books that gives you a linear view on this drama, even now unfolding.
Yes.
Miss Stinger.
Okay, so unlike with Chris's table, I put my books down in a very orderly, my notebooks down in a very orderly fashion, as though I'm a business person placing like a deposition on the table. And I sit. And Douglas, do you also sit?
Yeah, no, Douglas sits. I guess we haven't described what we look like either.
Yeah. No, I'm saying true. Dish it up. Go right. This is an incredible opportunity.
So Douglas is larger than Rosie, although I guess everyone in the school to some degree is, but not necessarily like hulking, but he is, a sports boy, a little bit older than Rosie, but he wears a Letterman jacket with like orangey coppery sleeves not from the school that we're at though, from his previous school.
With a better jacket.
Yeah. Yes. A Letterman jacket from the private school he used to go to. Wow, and powerful. Yes, he sits. I sit alongside Rosie. She barks orders at him as though he were a hired goon. He is somewhat aloof though, and constantly reminds her and everyone that he's between schools. So he views a lot of this school. He's very aloof. Like this is like watching reality TV to him.
Yeah. And
he's rich, so he doesn't need the money. He does it just because he likes to see Rosie like mess with people.
Flex on people.
Yeah.
So Rosie is wearing purple balloon jeans, a pink sweater, and a pearl, like a costume pearl necklace, because her mom always wears pearls, and she feels like it makes her look more adult and intimidating. But it's just like toy pearls. And then there's a bee brooch right on her pink sweater, right at breastbone height. So
the irony. Oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say the irony is that Rosie's 12. Douglas is 13. They're objectively younger than most of the people they're like messing with and bossing around.
No, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's like in your, based on the things that you know, like she's 14 as far as you know.
Brittany is.
Yes.
Okay. I have 14 question mark is the only thing written on my paper. Okay. So I sit down and I fold my hands, and Douglas sits down next to me, and it clearly rattles me a little. I'm like,
right.
We've had this talk before. Douglas, like, because he doesn't need the money, he doesn't always do what I say. And so I've tried to tell him before, like, no, you stand menacingly behind me, but he's not doing it. And so I'm just like, whatever. Okay. So I sit down, I'm like, Brittany, Ramone, I want you to know something. And I think it's very important that you consider what I say very carefully. I don't mean to be immodest, but I run this school, and I think it's time for you to choose sides. Do you want to be for power with me, or against me with the rest of the school? You have 20 seconds to decide.
She says, well, if the rest of the school is against you, I mean, I like those odds.
You are a treat. I make a note. Contrarian. You are just a treat. No, you'll find that the odds are very well stacked in my favor.
She says, I'm new here. Maybe I can use your organization as like training wheels.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean by organization, but if what you're proposing is an alliance, I could be convinced.
She stands up halfway through your sentence and she says, you're not the only person who knows things. And so you see this. So what is the Walnut reaction?
She okay. So
that's it. That's the Walnut reaction.
Yeah. She's like, and I want you to know that, like, to give you like some flavor, is that Walnut is like fully 15, like on the edge of 16.
She's basically 16.
Yeah, and she is much like me. I'm just gonna so much therapy for my youth.
Trying to drink stuff here.
Went through her growth spurt. She's like, she's really lanky. Like
she's a big 15.
She's a tree.
She hasn't grown into her like form yet. She's got like a black jean jacket, cut off vest with a bunch of patches on it, and like band logos and stuff. And then she's got like the long dark jean, like cut off at the knee, like right above the knee, and then like a red, just like a red shirt. But she's like all bruised and scuffed up from Derby, and she just and she's got Doc Marten boots, but she just looks like hell. Like she looks like she rode to school on the back of a hay wagon for sure.
And she may have.
Yeah.
And she may have, but yeah, it's like whatever she was trying to do, like whatever sneaky maneuver she was trying to do, whatever she was trying to get out of this library, she just is beside herself.
Absolutely. So she has stood up, and then you can see that she has picked up her backpack, and underneath her backpack is a tiny folded piece of paper, Rosie. Okay. And she takes her leave.
Paper left behind.
I watch her go, and I resist grabbing that paper as long as I can, which is about 0.03 seconds. And then I snatch it, bring it over toward me.
Perfect.
I read it.
It just has a number. It just has a phone number on it.
Oh,
3.
Okay. Give me that phone number.
Let's see. 367-5309.
867-530. Okay, 867-5309. Excellent.
Brittany, I got your number.
Okay.
Hey man, she was rude, huh? That was crazy.
Yes, Douglas, she was very, very rude. We have talked about this. You're supposed to stand behind me and look menacing. God, I grab my notebook.
I could sit and be menacing.
I love that.
I want to spin around and catch a glance of Walnut like frozen in the stacks.
Well, no, yeah, it's like you'll sort of like see her like straight through, like you're looking directly at her.
Okay, and I say, I come up with the best 12-year-old retort to this. I'm like, take a picture, it'll last longer. I stomp off.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is an incredible scene, and
it's like a Korean book.
Oh, it's flawless. Now, so this is actually this is an example of a scene that really has everybody in it. Does somebody else want to establish a scene specifically for their character to get an idea across about them, or should I take it from here?
I'm during that whole exchange, and I'm not at that table.
Yeah.
I think that I think I've had advantage, Walnut, of you in the stacks, but I'm not paying attention to what the books are. I am just thinking about how this library is full of people that I'm scared of, and any one of them could. It's just a moment of time that a hand can just transform into this, the and could come flying at me. But I'm seeing you watch the exchange, and now I've seen the aftermath and them storming away. And I have been, if you're looking closely at my eyes, I've not been reading whatever's in front of me for the whole time. I'm just trying to be still. I do not want them to say, "Hey, to settle a bet," and then I've got to be embroiled in this. So now that they're gone, I now look to you. Didn't realize that you're making eye contact with me, and I pivot back.
When you looked at me, you saw me putting the 3 books I was trying to check out in my backpack, clearly not going through the regulatory checkout procedures.
Oh, shit.
Like there's too much anxiety about putting the books on the table that she now just like stuffs them in her book, and she sees you look over, and the feeling washes over her where she's like, oh God, now I have to interact with someone about this.
One brief moment, one piece of information. It doesn't look, it could just be early, but it doesn't seem like Chris has been sleeping especially well. Just around the eyes, there is some redness. Visine might be a possible cure.
Oh, we don't allow that at home. We pray on it, but there's still.
We pray for our sclera.
But I do think that Walnut would see a fellow person that maybe, like, I think Walnut can clock pretty easy that Chris and Danny are just not. I don't think they would fit in with the other 2 kids very well, and maybe they don't fit in with most kids. And so Danny just kind of shuffles over and she goes, hey, yes, so that was pretty weird, that whole thing. Do you know those people? Do you know any of those people?
No, I don't, and I don't know why she seemed to know me.
Oh,
I don't. I'm trying my best. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't know you. I don't know a lot. What were you looking at?
Well, I mean,
it was interesting to see.
Yeah. Oh, that whole thing was interesting. Especially that other girl. She's new, right? Like, I've never seen her before. Have you seen her before? I've never seen her.
No, me neither. She.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody stand up to Rosie like that before.
That's true. I don't see a lot of that. Hey, about the books, like, it's cool if I just take these. Like, I already talked to the librarian. You don't need to talk to her about it. I just take the ones I need and then.
Oh no, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah,
that's not even, doesn't matter at all.
That's cool.
I'll take every book I want to from here, because I just bring them back.
Oh, it's too familiar.
And it's not even a big deal.
Me too. That's cool. You're cool. Anyway, my name's Danny, but everybody at Derby calls me Walnut. So anyway, thanks for being cool about the books. And also, well,
That's awesome. And that's great.
I just don't want to touch it. It's such a beautiful little flower. I just want to leave it alone. I want to do it for 2 hours.
Oh God, I could watch that for the rest of my life.
They could.
I hope that you have a great day with your books.
Hey, what's your name?
Chris.
Chris. Cool, Chris. That's what I'm gonna call you. All right. See you after. Bye. She just leaves.
All right.
I'm sweating.
It's just
Yeah. So, I mean, unfortunately, like, I really do think that we could do these character moments for 8 hours. I think I actually have to take the reins.
Please.
You have to, because I was just going to spin right into
going.
just to push it a little bit farther forward. So it it is breakfast at the Blitzen household. The topmost button of your father's dress shirt is open, and you have come to understand that this is an incredibly bad omen. If there's any part about him that is not geometrically perfect, you know that it means bad things for you. And it might even mean bad things for your mom. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Your bowl of Wheaties is almost entirely consumed. Its powerful nutrients coursing through your young sports body, ready to engage in their work. And it's clear that from the silence that there was a conversation between your mother and father that preceded this, that you were not privy to. And the silence in here is interrupted only by the occasional squeak of a spoon on the bottom of a cereal bowl.
Yeah, I wilt and eat with my head lower than normal. Even normally, I try to hide in the house between Douglas's parents and his brothers and sisters. He is always in retreat mode, and now more than ever, head down, trying to eat as quick as possible to get away from the table.
See,
and make no eye contact.
See, the car has already come for the siblings to take them to the private schools that they did not fail out of.
Yeah. Oh God, that alone with his parents. That's even worse.
Oh God.
Eating as fast as possible. No eye contact. Full Chris Straub mode.
Your dad says, Douglas,
Yes,
you're only going to be at this school for a couple of weeks. Do you think you can keep from fucking it up?
Yes, sir. This is a sir household.
He says, I'll believe it when I see it. And he pushes himself away from the breakfast table, and you can hear his loud steps on the stairs as they go up. Your mother blooms into amelioration mode, and she says, you remember Kathy from down the street?
I fumble with my spoon for a minute and then go, yeah.
She places a hand on your hand on the table, and she says, Kathy's family is going to give you a ride to school.
Oh, Jesus.
That's not what Douglas says.
Yeah. And then, because this is a movie, we don't have to transition through space in the typical way.
Yeah.
When the camera sees it, your father has essentially carved out a portion of the neighborhood you grew up in into something like a walled garden. And just outside are the kids that you grew up with. And right outside the front gate, there is a car, a Nissan Maxima.
Oh yeah. And
the rear window rolls down, and you can see Kathy, who you grew up playing sports with in the street. You can see her flexing her hand inside of a goalie's glove for street hockey. And she makes a comically large gesture of obsequiousness and says, Your Highness. That is actually the end of that scene, if you can believe it. That's the kind of movie we can make, unless, because this is how this game works, you would like to have a little bit of this uncomfortable drive to school.
I mean, it's going to be me doing my best interpretation of Chris stammering through a conversation with this girl.
I'd love to find out why this is the case. Like, where did that power go?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's say, I like your car.
And she looks over at you and like tilts her head like what the fuck are you trying? What are you trying to do here?
I immediately returned. I don't know why I said that. Without saying it, just like I don't.
You see her mom. Her mom looks at you, and you just see her eyes in the rearview mirror, like. She's like, well, I mean, of course, we're happy to have you back down here in the fields.
I'm happy to be here, Mrs. Dunn. It's a really great car. Why do I keep talking about the car? Why do I?
All right, now, next scene, a pickup truck pulls up to Northwood Junior High. Right out front, it's early. This is a 0-hour class. It takes place before the traditional schedule and constitutes an extra credit, to be sure, but it does shave off a significant portion of the morning's rest. In the back of this pickup truck is one Danny Grass, and also a dog, and also a chicken, specifically a hen that hasn't been laying. And your mother, Hannah, has come to believe this is like the old grass system, the reliable system for getting hens that won't lay. And so she's combining all of the family's tasks into a single bin for use. She is nothing if not an efficient manager of the creatures in her care.
Yeah, I mean, when the chickens aren't laying, you gotta take them around the block. It's like when a baby won't sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
they just need that air.
Yeah, there is every potential, Danny, that putting things in the back of trucks and driving them around is a sort of universal medicine for many things which ail humankind.
Sure. Hey, what kind of dog do we have, and what's the dog's name?
No, that's not this game.
Oh,
you
okay.
Tell me.
Oh, it's a black lab named Arnold.
Perfect. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say we had to go dog, right?
Yeah, of course.
I love it. Yeah, and
is Onyx an old or a young pup?
It's an old farm dog, old orchard hound.
Yeah, it's an old dog, but you can still rile him up. You can still
rile him up, but he's got those patches like on the joints.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Maybe a little around the eyes.
No, the dog, and it's like summertime has been so good. And now that we're coming back into the year, this dog knows in its bones that you're not going to be around during the day. So it is trying to get as much. Now, Danny, are you a wheel well girl, or do you sit back up against the cab here in the back?
She likes to sit up
on top.
Right on top.
Perfect.
Before there are, like when they're driving into town, before they get to the school, she'll stand up in the back of the bed and put her arms up on the cab and just like get like the full wind, like really wake up that way. But the closer they get to school, the more she sinks down into the back of the bed, as if to say, I am not even here, and no, I was not ferried to school in this way. Don't look at me ever.
Yeah.
Please.
And so as you begin to compress in the back of this truck, the affectionate gesture from your mother is just that click of the nails on the back part of the window that separates there. Mm-hmm. So as she senses you beginning to diminish, she tries to communicate against the glass with the tips of her fingers.
We have a ritual where I dramatically put my whole palm on the back and slide it down as if to say, don't make me do this another day. Anything else, mother, please. And I imagine she laughs.
Couple quick pats. She gets it.
Yeah.
So you pull up into the big round out in front of the school proper. You come off of, this, just a couple decades ago, this was all farms. A lot of this land, a lot of this area had to be dug up. It had to be processed and certainly made secure for the introduction of the loop. Now, the loop itself proper, that's a little bit more north of Mead High. But you can see those stacks from here. And it's all out north, right? It's not in town. It's not where people can vote against it.
Right.
And a lot of the advantages that come with it, those first power trunks went straight downtown and onto the South Hill and over into the brownstones that overlook that gorge over there. Those lines weren't coming out where the people who live there are. Out on the farm, out on the orchard, the orchard does good. You run the farm stand sometimes, right?
Unfortunately.
The orchard does well, but there's nobody out there. Your mom can't afford magnetrine vehicles to, it's like there's places that would be nice to go to without a road, right? There's places out here, you got to make these roads.
Yeah.
And that's the situation. So out north there, certainly out up by 2, out in Peon Prairie, you're not seeing the benefits of the loop really, but you can come in and see this nice thing they made for themselves sometimes.
Well, that makes them feel good.
Right? It's nice. It's nice for them.
Sure.
They need something like this. And so your mom pulls off a little wide turn, maybe comes a little close to somebody else leaving. She pulls into that large round where the bus stacks up out front. And you don't really know what to expect. And now we involve the rest of our players here. You don't really know what to expect, just that it is required and that you have to do it, which of course, young people love. They can't get enough of arbitrary power. It's their favorite thing that there is. The specific modus of this arbitrary power is that you 4 have been selected for some kind of, it's not extracurricular. This is, as I suggested before, this is real credit. It's going to go on your transcript. But it's not optional. And it has to do with some grades that you received at the end of last year that identified and indicated perhaps that some remedial assistance might be indicated. Now, I need to know under what circumstances each of you came up with a C. Yeah, a C.
Right. A C.
Do we?
And you don't have to deserve it. I was just going to say, and you don't have to deserve it.
Oh, I was going to say, like, do we know what? Are we allowed to say what class it is?
You are absolutely. In fact, I demand it.
All right. I received a C in science, which is strange because I do like to read about it. It's almost as though I purposely got a C so that I would have to take it again under other conditions.
Because you love it so much. They don't make you take a class again if you get a C, Chris.
Well, I could. Let's say I tried to get a D.
You can choose to.
Yeah.
You tried to fail it.
I tried to do very bad, and I actually only got a C.
All right. What are these other C's we got here?
I have a question. How far is this after the scene that played out in the library?
This right here, the library, in my belief system, my belief structure, which I invite you to partake in, that was sort of on the ramp up to school coming back.
Oh, okay.
Right? Out in the library, you're getting some resources, getting ready. There's obviously the reading lists have been established, right?
Okay. Okay. So Walnut's been having some trouble in school. She's been in trouble with her teachers because she's been just skipping a lot of gym, just skipping gym, and kind of disappears for a while. She didn't used to skip gym, but now, and it started like every once in a while. Now it's like every day, and that was like the start of her acting out. And then she was in science class, and they were supposed to dissect frogs. And for some reason, and she's normally been like a very good student, kind of a teacher's pet, she just refused.
And couldn't do it.
She wouldn't do it. And when they asked her why, she said it was a waste of a good frog and a shame for them to get hacked up by a bunch of brats in a lab.
Incredible. What else we got here?
I'll go next.
Yeah.
So I got a C in history. And I think it's a few things. I'm pretty sure the teacher hates me, and that I was purposely being given lower grades than everybody else. She did yell at me a lot about always writing in my special notebook. And so I was telling her that I was taking notes, but like, I don't know. It was like she could tell that I was writing down all my secrets and plans instead of taking notes in history. Also, she did accuse me of plagiarism, which is unfounded. And it was on a pretty important term paper that I got a D- on because of the plagiarism. So that brought my average way down. But don't worry. I've got a lot of juice on this particular teacher, and I think things are really going to turn around for her this year.
Dear God. Like, I can see a situation where it's like you turn in a test, and then like the whole test, like a paper, and there's just one line on the test, and it's like, I know about Mrs. Johnson. Yeah, that's the whole paper.
That's the whole paper. Oh, I got an A this year. Interesting.
Now, this is an opportunity, of course, because you're switching schools. You've been identified, Douglas, to come in here. What was it that created the problem out there?
I mean, Douglas, I think up and down his report card is probably all C's. It's probably hard to dial in just one that he's doing bad on. He's probably not, he's not great in math. He's not great in English. He's not great in social studies.
He's not great at school. He's good at lacrosse.
Good at gym and good at sports. And he's hanging on by his fingernails. Also, and he's acting up, constantly belittling like the school and the teachers when they're like trying to help him. He's just like, this is public school. I should be acing all of this.
Right. Now, so really all you know, because it's some kind of pilot program, really all you know is that it's room 104. It's like I said, 0 hour. It's early, so you're seeing the morning janitors. You're seeing big things being wheeled around, the things that you can't do during the day proper, right? And as you enter the class, there is already a woman writing almost feverishly on the board, but not out of like tension or anxiety, but out of what appears to be authentic excitement and engagement with today's youth. If that nauseates you, I think that you're in the right mindset. She has written on the board, it says, Mrs. Dolores Droma. And as the four of you come in, this broom has been given over completely to this pilot program. There are no less than 4 separate, unique computers set up along one side of the wall. They have focused an incredible amount of material resources into a class that has an unparalleled teacher to student ratio. That's how dire they feel this is.
Have we ever seen computers before?
Absolutely. I mean, you've seen them, but it's like you might have like a lab. You'd be like apples.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Okay.
But this is a horse of a different color, to be sure. And there is a poster on the chalkboard that has recently been blue tacked up. You can't see the tape on the outside. It's like it's just suspended in midair. It says down at the base of the poster, it says our founder, Mini drawn. And she is posed on the poster. She is posed in a really dramatic, it's a black and white photograph. And she is posed almost like in a drama class where she's sort of like, she's like trying to evoke some primal energy. It is the least authentic thing you have ever seen in your life.
I'm imagining it like the Theranos founder.
Yeah,
she's got the blood.
Like the Steve Jobs bullshit.
Yeah, it's not real.
Absolutely.
Good morning, students.
Oh no.
This is your principal, Miss Grant. This is your 5-minute warning for zero period. Please start making your way to your class. Okay. Just a reminder to please turn in your chocolate bar fundraiser money by next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Happy learning.
Oh my God. Okay, that was flawless. This is the Shadow Chancellor
what a treat.
Bit that the fans have been craving. Now, but honestly, that's great because we can completely work through that. So as you enter one by one, she rings a bell that she has on the desk each time. Ding, ding, sort of to mark the entry in. And she says, we have a lot of fun rituals here in the C team. And she says, listen, you see this name? That's me. It's one version of me. But here in the C team, I'm the best version of myself. And she crosses out the name and she just writes Dolores. And she says, I want to invite you all. Obviously, Northwood is part of a pilot program of the C team. Special kids that we think need just a little bit of help finding their best selves. She says, you know what? Let's take a moment. What are a few, we've all had experiences with C's in the past, but what are a few good things that start with C? Now, we will pause here and then we will return after our break. Hello, and welcome back to Tessie Teams. When last we saw our heroes, they were being inducted into some kind of secret organization at the behest of Mrs. Dolores Droma, but truly at the behest of one Minnie Drawn, whose public-private partnership horseshit has now begun to work its way into the lives of our protagonists. Just as we said before the break. So obviously we've had some negative experiences with the letter C, right? But what are some good words that start with C? And then she, with a flourish, just removes the cap from the marker, places it at the bottom of the board, and waits expectantly.
The pressure of not having an answer immediately for a teacher overwhelms Danny. And she goes, corn?
Corn. It's an incredible crop. I mean, you know that corn also has a substantial cultural value. Another C word. She writes down corn. And then, like wordlessly, just with her mouth, she says, yeah, exactly, like right in the middle of Crystal, the hand goes up, let's have it come back down again. Oh. Yeah, and then she says, thank you, as though you were an idiot. And then the weaponry turns itself back on you, Mr. Straub.
Oh, with a too sudden.
Well, imagine the sort of fear terror response of a marmoset.
My hand is up because I want to be called on, but when she actually turns to me, it goes down as if I did the wrong thing. Computers.
Yes. In fact, and this is actually very timely, she writes computers down. She says, these have all been offered to us by Minnie Drawn herself. Now, Minnie Drawn's work has formed little clubs just like our C team all across the United States and one day, hopefully, the world. So, is there any other C words that we like? Any C words that inspire us?
There's lots of C words. This is going to take days.
Well, we don't have to write all of them down, just the ones that resonate with us, the ones that bring out our inner champion. Another C word.
All right. Cut block, center field, crossing route, cornerback, catcher.
Is there anyone else?
Check down.
Miss Stinger. Any C words that strike your fancy?
Yeah, cash.
She writes it down, but like slowly, like hoping that that's the first part maybe of a 2-word phrase.
Cash, please.
She says, listen, now the curriculum.
Ugh.
that Mrs. Drawn has established for all of our teams is profound in its simplicity. She has identified, and I'm told that the research on this is quite robust. She has identified various tasks and activities that awaken that inner student in all of us. By the end of this semester, I think that we're going to see the potential in ourselves and maybe even in each other. And that's why I'm going to introduce this week's task. Get ready. She writes the word cleaning on the board. Cleaning. Oh, we're above a little elbow grease. We're above a little work.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to look. Yeah. I'm looking around at the room, like just to take the temperature, like of the postures of everybody else, because I'm still sort of, bolt upright, trying to do what's expected. I think. Is everybody like? I'm looking on the screen. Is that?
No, I think this is it.
This is my realistic. This is me.
Yeah.
Okay. I try to sort of cheat it out. Maybe do a little bit of that. Because now I got these 2 poles that I have to meet somehow. I have to be cool and studious.
Confused.
If this makes me think like Chris knew about this remedial special class, and that's a part of why
that's the stratagem
he tried to get a C. It's like there's something that you knew about, that this was going to be a special like honors class.
So your question, like, why would he get a C?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's maybe
that's a fair question.
I kind of want to turn to Chris in a moment where like Dolores isn't paying attention to us and be like, "What are you even doing here, nerd?"
Yeah, you'd have to do that when she's not. When I think there's no chance of being caught, because I will not
whisper
look at you. I will just pretend. Don't get us in trouble. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. And then after the word cleaning, she writes graffiti. And she says, I know that graffiti is not a C word. I'm hoping that you will just let me have this. It's part of the rigorous curriculum that Mrs. Drawn has established. And we've seen it work. We've seen it change lives. Change. It's another C word.
You can't tell, but I have my hand up.
Oh, there it is.
It's been cruelly shaved off at the elbow. She says, Miss Stinger, we love this type of engagement.
Yeah, I have a question. Since like we just got C's, it's not a big deal. Why do we have to be here at ass crack of the morning, which is the best swear I could think of? Ass crack of the morning.
Her breath catches involuntarily.
Yeah, crack. It begins with a C too. Why are we here and we have to clean graffiti? We just got an 80 or whatever on our average. Why are we being punished.
so Danny, is that the actual face?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, Danny's face.
When she says 80, is that Danny's like, I
What?
think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even a
Danny piggybacks a little bit, and she goes, I was under the impression that I would just be getting like normal detention, and like anybody else that might get detention, like anybody, you know, like I didn't think that we were gonna have to do this. I think it's a mistake.
She's
a whole semester.
Will any of these tasks include studying?
Well, obviously, there's going to be a lot of home studying, but Mini Drawn believes that the world is a classroom, and that's why we'll be sending you out. Now, for some of you, I know that, for example, for you, Mr. Straub, there's going to be some challenges. I know. I mean, I've looked obviously at the file. I know that you prefer a more rigorous educational context, but I think that Mrs. Drawn's unique approach is going to pay dividends here as well. Now, for some of you, you may appreciate the additional freedom that the C team provides. Our tasks occur during the school day. You will be out in the world proper, learning important lessons, learning about each other, learning about yourselves.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna catch up with everyone in the classes we're failing by not going to school.
I am here to tell you that these are innovative techniques. They're tested to the best of my knowledge. But the main thing that you need to take away from this is that by the end of it, you will be better people. You will be sharpened. You will be adept. It's all in the pamphlet that your parents read. I mean, you understand that they chose this for you.
What?
That tracks.
This is, I mean, we only have so much time here to discuss it here. Obviously, this is something that you can bring up at home, but I do want to get to today's task right away. So she produces 3 Polaroids that have addresses written down at the bottom. And you can see the, for lack of a better term, tags in the inside the images. She passes these out to you, and then she also issues 4 bus passes as well.
Hold on. So there's 3 Polaroids?
3 Polaroids, exactly.
4 passes. Okay.
4 passes, exactly.
I look around trying to gauge who the oldest one is, and I land on Danny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, don't you have a car or a wagon or something? We have to take the bus?
And Danny was disassociating, being like, we get to take the bus? Oh my
exactly.
God.
So Danny,
like a city kid.
Well, because Danny works out on the orchard, Danny almost certainly, like the laws around driving on the farm are different. Mm-hmm. But your learner's permit wouldn't extend too much beyond the farm. But you do have one. You'd have to have one. Like your mom would have made this happen.
Also, I've been like driving the tractor since I was like 11.
Exactly. That's how it works.
I go, I don't drive. Who said? No.
Can't you like call one of your chickens to come pick us up or something?
I reach up for a high five to Douglas.
Right.
I go, do you even go to this school? Gestures at jacket, everything.
Gestures at jacket. Is that like the nickname?
Yeah. I gesture at Minnie. I go, sounds like I don't.
I laugh despite myself. That's pretty good.
So the first bus is the time for that is very nigh. Our scene opens at the bus stop. Who is the last one who has to run a little bit for the bus?
God, it ain't me. Yeah.
Isn't it half pint?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's
it'll
probably
it's probably either me or Douglas.
It has to do with leg length, ultimately.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Because I think I was waiting for like to the very last minute for someone to give me a ride somewhere. Like if I just straight up refused to ride the bus, maybe Dolores would drive me because I don't want to ride the bus like a peasant. And it becomes very clear that no one is arriving as the bus engine turns over and like there's exhaust that blows out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, fine.
But the ploy did not function. The first of these three is a little more traditional than the others. And when I say traditional, I don't mean traditional in terms of how this medium can be executed at the highest levels. I mean it's traditional insofar as it sucks shit, and is the work of wayward youths.
Oh,
You're talking about the quality of the graffiti?
Yes,
I see.
And there is a couple blocks between that address. There's also who is holding the comically large folding map.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yes.
I was going to say Chris, but I am the cartographer, so
I was going to say from this character standpoint, I would want to avoid, like, you tell me what to do. I don't want to be in a position of being asked for a map, like, where did you put it?
But that also lets you boss everyone around.
Exactly. I was just going to say this lets me be bossy. So right. I have taken this and adopted the role of like the strategic planner. And so I feel like maybe I can avoid hard labor. So I have the map.
Perfect. There is essentially like an L-shaped between where the bus has dropped you off and the first of these three zones. There is sort of like an L-shaped path that you have to take, sort of kitty corner from the block that you're dropped off on. Okay. And the closer you get to it, the more aggressive become the strains of heavy metal.
Oh, geez.
Just leaking out of a battered boom box.
Okay, question, Chris. On a scale from 1 to 10, like how scared, like satanic panic are you? Like how bad is heavy metal for you?
Oh, so it's not about like, oh no, the devil. It's more like, oh no, like a tough crowd that I'm not going to do well around.
Street kids,
leather jackets.
Yeah. That's where the danger is. I don't know about a Satan actually appearing. Okay. Although maybe there's the additional, like, if my mom knows I heard some of it somehow, the tinge of it will follow me home.
It's too real. God, it's too real. And so that blare grows in intensity until it reaches Miss Stinger its gaudy apex, as two young wastrels materialize as you come around the corner, and they are making additions to their previous work.
Oh no!
Of course, purely, I'm just going to whisper this into the microphone. Of course, they have cleaning supplies. We don't have to worry about that. They've got them. There's sprays. There's rollers. It's fine. But they are even now further embroidering their skate or die / Megadeth Ovra. And it is metastasizing on this wall even as we speak.
How long? I guess at this point, the only person I'm comfortable interacting with is Walnut. How long do you think it'll take him to finish? Like, it's insane that we would interrupt them and say, stop, let's let them do it and think they did it and then go clean it up.
Well, the thing about graffiti, to my understanding, is that it's like a living art piece. You're never really done. So we should just leave.
Whatever, weirdos. We have to do this. We have 3 of these places to clean up, and I want to get back before homeroom. So
is
why
the bus...
don't...
Stop, sorry, go ahead.
Do not interrupt me. Why don't you two weirdos go talk to your friends over there and let them know that they need to clear out?
We'll be killed. But Rosie will die.
Well, no, I'm sure that, look, it says skate or die. I can talk to them. No problem.
Yeah, just choose skate.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the two choices. I mean,
skate. Describe how old do these
wastrels
youths look?
I regret to inform you.
They're 8.
They're 3. No, I regret to inform you that you think they may be as many as 16 years old.
Oh, no.
You're starting to seriously question some of the wisdom of the school is the world is your teacher, drawn tier philosophies.
I'm not even gonna look 16 until I'm like 18. Like there's no way it's gonna go well for me. I turn to Douglas just because like you're the toughest one. Seems like you might. I'm trying to again take your temperature. Are you like rolling your sleeves up, or you look scared?
No, I'm rolling my sleeves up. I'm ready to approach them. I want to get this over with. I find this. I was challenging the teacher, so I find this.
It's invigorating
to be nonsense. I just want to get it over with. Yeah, but I'm stuck within the confines of this because I can't get kicked out of another school. So it's like, this is the task. Let's get the task done, sort of thing.
Hey, now, Mr. Straub, just even at this range, there is something familiar. It's just the scent, like the scent of the fresh spray paint, the chemical propellant, is it's activating some part of your mind. Like there's a familiarity with it.
Oh yeah. And then I turn into one of them.
Yeah.
Give me that can.
Yeah. Give me that can over there. No. It's just like the scent of it.
Oh, I see. Like, is there a comfort I can take?
Yeah. Just some kind of a sense, sense memory aspect of it.
I will. On that and on like seeing the impatience in Douglas.
Yeah.
And it's like I'll go up if we're all going up.
I'll give you a little kick in the ass.
I'll
push you along. I'm like, come on, God boy, learn by doing.
God doesn't work like this.
Well, he does now.
He's super hands off.
And I push you at them.
Oh, geez. This is the worst possible thing. All right. I'm in the front then.
All right.
Yeah.
So they turn one of them, I regret to inform you, is balancing the skateboard on the left shoulder, trucks out, and he turns just with a clearly mirror practiced malevolence.
When I see his skateboard out with the trucks out, I can't help myself, but I go, I lift my chin and I go,
what, you recognize?
No. I say, we call that a mall grab. Which he would know to mean you carry it around a mall with the trucks out so everyone can see the cool design, but you never really skate it.
His chest inflates. And he looks over at Mega and he says, Mega, you hear this? She thinks I don't know what a mall grab is.
I didn't say that. I just figured, two big Megadeth fans like yourself. I don't know. I listen, Anyway,
can I? Okay, so what are the mechanics around helping? Because I want to whatever Walnut is trying to do. I have no idea, but I want to help like reinforce that
it's very easy.
She is alpha here.
It's very easy. All you would do, so in order to help any of your friends here, you just tell me that you're helping them. They get an extra dice.
Okay.
When it comes to their roll, of course, we roll d6s in this game. Any one that comes up a 6 is a success. That means that whatever you intended to do happens. If you get more 6s, then we talk about how well you succeeded under that context. Now, this is the downside of it. Often failing something, especially something that is immediate, can have consequences, or you can get conditions like upset, scared, and these mess up your dice pools later. But if you help a friend and they fail, you get the same condition they do. So you're putting yourself on the line when you help a friend.
Trust me.
Right?
Yeah. I wouldn't say we're friends necessarily, but
yes,
I really just
when you help others.
Thank you,
Miss Stinger.
Yeah. So whatever, if there's a role that's coming,
you want to put in.
Rosie's backing it up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Walnut's like looking at their little Megadeth tag, and it says skate or die, and she goes like, Megadeth's cool, but like not as cool as Judas Priest, like just can't really hold a candle. And I want you to know she is 100% talking out of her ass. She only knows the music that the older girls play at Derby, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, Judas Priest is really tasteful. It's a really tasteful choice. And then as you say that, Mega says, dude, I told you it should have been Judas Priest.
Listen, I just think like, skater to skater, and she swings her backpack around and she just like pulls the wheels of her red roller skates out. She's like, look, you guys need to go find another wall. We'll take care of this one. And just like,
so hold on. So would you say that skate is connected to, the team? Like, is that color? She would definitely have a skate. Like, she would try to emulate that team in every way possible, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Here, hang on one second.
My iconic item.
So Scott looks close at this. As this icon emerges from the bag, he's like, "Are you with the Booney bitches?"
Walnut's like, I skate with him time to time.
Hot blood rushes into his cheeks. And he's like, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. You guys seem like you're cool. Too cool for this tag. Like, I got these guys here, and I'm assuming that like everybody has, like, Chris is holding like a mop, right?
Yeah, you have some tools, yeah.
I try to maul grab the mop.
Incredible. And I'm just posturing at this point. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna just like wipe the slate clean on this one. Don't worry about it. You'll get it next time. But like, I won't tell any of the girls. So like, I saw this.
He's like, so when are you gonna like, when are we gonna? It's like, it's cool that you skate. Is it like, so I mean, like, when you gotta meet soon, or?
Oh man, I'm dropping in all the time. I stay skating. But yeah, back to the matter at hand.
Here,
this girl is so uncool.
Throw me a charm.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, and so in this game, of course, charm is a skill that is connected to the heart stat. So you throw the number of dice you have in heart
Yes.
and the number of dice you have in charm together.
And a +1 from me.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, now that is,
and she gets a +2 for the skates, right? Since that was the iconic item.
well, I was just gonna say is for Danny. Let's see the item. Where's the item on here? Oh yeah, well yeah, absolutely, because it's your iconic item. Anything that you use it for, that's a good catch actually. Because it's being used like not to skate. Like if she was skating, definitely, but having pulled it out to flex on them, I think is a legitimate use of that dice in the pool. So you're throwing that in. You have a total of 3 extra dice, and your base is 4, which is not super good, but a total of 7 might get you some results.
Okay, and I'm just looking for 6s here.
You want 6s, yeah.
I got a 1, a 2, a 1, a 4, a 3, a 3, and a 1.
No, Denny.
Okay, now
you know what? It's perfect. I wouldn't want it.
Well,
any
no,
other way.
but this is an incredible opportunity. This is almost like, I swear to God, this is like the adventure that would be in the guide, right? That would show us, it's like, oh, well, sometimes you fail at something that you really want to succeed at. In this, every character has something called a pride. It's a role-playing guide that they use. But it also means one other thing, and that is that if you can use your pride at any time to succeed at a roll. You can only do it once per game, right? You try to do this later, you're shit out of luck. You can also use a luck point, which you don't have.
No.
Because you are the oldest kid in this group.
Yeah.
You have skills instead of luck. So you can use your pride, which is when the shit hits the fan, I don't back down.
Yes. Yes, and the shit is hitting the fan.
Yeah, exactly. It's so Mega looks at the still exposed skate peeking out of the bag and says, if she was really with them, those would be a lot more scuffed, right? He's like, those would be torn apart. She's fucking with us about our boards.
Okay. Do I want to use when the shit hits the fan, I don't back down?
When you use pride, is an auto success, or is it just another die?
It's an auto success, and this is a good scenario to use it in because Rosie will inherit whatever downside to a failed roll there is.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Is it once per game, like the whole campaign, or like once for our purposes
session.
an episode? Okay, great, perfect. Okay, well then, yes, this is the perfect time for me to use it. Let me just click it off.
No, you tell me what it looks like when Danny Grass flexes on some skaters. Skaters in quotes.
Yeah. Okay. She stuffs the skates back in her bag and she flips it around like that. And she looks at the mural for a second and she goes, And she goes, that's a lot of big talk from 2 Megadeth posing, mall grabbing idiots. Listen. she summons all of her courage and she's like, you know, you can fuck with me, but you know you're fucking with everybody else that I roll with, right?
That was 2 F words.
Yeah. Mega elbows Scott. And it's like, there's other places to tag, man.
Yes, Scott. There's other places to tag.
It's like, we can just come back. We can just come back after they leave. We don't got to deal with this. We got a lot of stuff going on. There's a bunch of stuff, man. I got new cans. And their mall gangster resolve begins to sort of melt a little bit and misshape. And they try to beat a retreat that still retains some element of bravado, where the skateboard is swinging in a big way, and it becomes clear now that only one of them has a skateboard, and he doesn't even skate it to leave.
Incredible. Like I'm sorry, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as soon as they leave, Walnut's like Denny's knees like buckle, and she like puts an arm on the wall. She watches him leave, and she's just like clearly like had broken out in a cold sweat, and she's like, her voice cracks. She goes, "Okay, let's clean up the mural, guys."
I have been taking a lot of notes in my
your Rosie journal,
my book of juicy secrets. I have a page for all of you, and what I have added to Walnut's page, which frankly was pretty full. Now I have boony bitches ? And can get very scary.
Yeah.
And next to that is a smiley face.
I love the idea that like the derby version of the Enclave Pax Anima is the boony bitches.
So good.
I love it.
So good.
I thought you said booty bitches when we first started talking.
No.
I was like, Jerry, come on.
No,
Boony is
boony.
incredible.
Boony bitches.
Boony's incredible.
It's that hick talk. So, you are able to dismantle. Tell me exactly what the procedure is. Is there a curation here? Do you keep some portion of it? How do you go about this task?
I am standing back, kind of.
You're not going into it at all.
I'm looking at the whole picture.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of instructing where I feel like people should be cleaning in order to maximize our productivity.
When the as soon as they had left the alley, I was setting up the mop and the buckets.
Yeah.
And a lot of like, that was really cool. That was really fucking cool. You fucking got them.
Well, I look at you and I go, that's nice, man, but you know it wasn't.
Don't know that it wasn't.
I get excited because it's like sports adjacent.
Yes.
So then I started wanting to talk to you like, are you really in Derby? Do you do Derby?
Oh yeah. This is the first time Douglas has seen it.
Yeah.
Like that icon.
No, I got another way in. I was gonna say, because my sister is on the lowriders, or she used to. She's a blocker. What are you?
Oh, there we go.
And Walnut goes, I mean, Wall's right in the name. But like, I skate with them all the time.
No, but what's your position? I know a lot about it because I used to go to her games. Have you ever heard of her? Her name's BB, or well, her nickname was BB.
That's cool. That's cool. Have I heard of BB?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
And I go, so you like know BB?
Yeah, when she was playing, she's still my sister. She used to play. Yeah, they called her BB, because of all the back blocking. She put like 6 girls in the hospital.
That's pretty cool, man.
So we should. So let's establish that in the same way that like when Walnut first saw the sigil of Malith, there was like a physical response.
Mm-hmm.
The lowriders are not okay.
Okay.
This is like rival shit.
Okay. Okay.
BB's she was like their dirtiest player.
Yeah, let me put it this way. And it sounds like they might have a reputation already that precedes them.
Yeah.
But there's 2 types of teams and they draw from different parts of town. Let's put it that way.
That makes sense. And Walnut's like, oh yeah, I think I've caught one of their bouts once or twice,
Well, I mean, if you were playing, you would have played them.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I caught it because I was there. Caught them, calling off the jam.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So many of my stupid adolescent lies are coming back to my mind in real life right now.
Oh God.
It's making me so uncomfortable to hear this.
It's too real.
Yeah, this is awful.
I wouldn't press her. I'd just be like, cool, that's cool. Excitedly. Yeah, that's cool. Newfound respect.
Yeah, cool is a word that starts with C. Also, clean faster and chop chop, please. Let's go.
I think I'm the only one actually cleaning.
You are.
Yeah, then nobody else. I unquestionably am doing it.
to say I'm half-assing it is an insult to half-assing. I'm like 1/8 assing it.
I am scrubbing the same spot over and over, and it's very clean, but it's done.
It's been done.
It's been done, dude.
So this is just the Chris Straub show. A lot of cleaning. Basically, this is a solo project.
Cleaning also allows me to not interact with anybody. It also lets me face the wall and hide my fear erection. There's a lot of power being thrown around in the space, and I don't know how to interact with it. I want to crawl under a rug.
Is young Chris Straub interested in cleanliness?
I think I would be interested in doing the job that was given to us, not necessarily because I think this is an important wall. What wall are we cleaning? Because if it's like an alley, it's like, what is the point of this?
This does face the street. It's on the left side of a 7-Eleven.
I'm still like, who cares? Like, I'm imagining like there's also graffiti on every other surface, so it's not like we beautified the neighborhood with this.
Now, what are you thinking about? Like, where does your mind wander to as you are engaging in this task?
I think my mind,
what internal drumbeat is it?
How do I get through today without like losing any of the meager social standing I have? And then once I'm at home, what do I ask my mom about this? It's like, this is a great punishment for me, because you've not only put me in the company of 3, titans, as far as I'm concerned, but also I'm now robbed of the library, the school structures that I know how to follow and stay out of everybody's way. This is just the worst.
Yeah. Now, because this is the type of game we're playing, anything that anybody else wants to tuck in here, like, we are now fully one vertical stripe away from a perfect wall.
Great. I come back after having been gone for quite some time, and I have 2 Slurpees
I was just going to say,
7-Eleven.
You went in. You win. No, you both should go in.
No, yeah. I went out and I got Slurpees, but just a large one for me and a small one for Douglas, and none for anybody else.
Oh yeah, because that's your satellite, right? That's your enforcer titan.
I think of him as like my hired muscle and like my pet creature, but Douglas does not agree with that assessment at all. But I know, like, what is I think that I would know what flavor of Slurpee you actually like, and I specifically didn't get that one.
Oh,
so I got you like the blue raspberry.
I was gonna say like the Smart Water ones, whatever one is like 0 sugar.
It's just foam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you a crappy one, but it's more of a gesture of power than anything else.
Yeah. And he takes it. It goes right past him. The subtle power play of it goes right past him. He's like, hey.
Of course. It was not power on you. It was power on the 2 of them.
Yeah, but also subtly on him too. Yeah.
Also on him.
Yeah, when I see y'all passing out Slurpees, I'm like, that's so much sugar. Y'all are gonna rot your teeth out. And I'm like, I would never drink that shit. Like, very clear that she's just like, dude, I hate high fructose corn syrup. Gross.
Yeah, exactly. I can't do that. It's not part of my regimen. So
you probably also can't afford it. So.
Oh. So Donald, this happens, and this dark energy begins to course between them.
Douglas?
And Douglas, and you have basically like popped the top. Like, you don't have the straw. So you've just like popped the top off of it, and they're just but it's basically impossible to find the angle where it all doesn't just go on your face. So there's a process of trying to tip it while this other power dynamic is happening. You can't even see it. You are looking at a Slurpee.
Yeah.
Can I interject
Yes.
this feeble attempt to diffuse it? So, Rosie, you just said it's like, well, you probably couldn't afford it, and I'm mopping the last strip, and I go, me neither. Slurpees are expensive.
It's like here. So yeah. So as you're raising your arms, Mr. Straub,
yeah,
to exert yourself for this last bit of the stripe, you can see on the inside of your coat, just inside the zipper, it looks as though you've gotten some of this paint. Like during the process of going through your own thoughts, trying to calculate this conversation with your mom, it looks as though you have gotten some of this paint on the inside. But when you go to wipe it off, it's clear that this paint has been dry for some time.
Inside the jacket.
Inside the jacket, inside the zipper. Class, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much, obviously, these incredible players. Thank you so much to the community that has supported the C Team so long. I hope you are enjoying this return to the 80s that never was via Tales from the Loop. Of course, we'll be right back next week with more of this story. We'll see you then.